So, in addition to the baseball and golf bets that we've been making this week, I made an NBA awards bet yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Well, here's why. It's a flat out value play. And then I was tipped off by our guy, Ian. I saw him post it, CRG Futures on Twitter. And then I figured out why the market moved this way. So, yesterday, I don't know if this is the case this morning. I'd have to look it up. Talk about Jaren Jackson Jr., Defensive Player of the Year. The market is all over the place on him. The reason that the number crashed was because John Hollinger, who used to be at ESPN, now writes for The Athletic. He wrote his awards column. He doesn't have a vote, but he is a respected opinion. And, voters are going to read what he has to say.
Sure.
And listen in on it. So that's why those numbers went down. But DraftKings decided to keep the number at 16. I don't know if it's still there at the moment. He went through all of his awards, and one award that we've been talking about that seems to be up in the air is Defensive Player of the Year. He just went over how it was obvious for the majority of the season how it was Draymond, and it was, and that was one of my picks, but the injuries got me there. I had that 20, I forgot 22, something like that. I was thinking that was going to hit, and how this award has swung. Haven't all these awards really swung?
Yes.
Usually it ends up on the third or fourth guy. It takes a few guys before we figure out who's going to end up winning this award. But
we also talked about Jaren Jackson Jr. when he was like 40-1 in like November.
I know. And then we said we missed it because then it jumped a lot.
Mm-hmm. And now we're looking at it and he's still in the picture, and DraftKings has him all the way down to 4-1. I mean 16-1. And other places like FanDuel have it at 4-1. So I just decided to jump in there with the value that was sitting there at one book, a 16 compared to a 4 in the final week of the season.
Yeah.
Well, you look, Defensive Player of the Year is so subjective, but you look at some of his numbers, steals, blocks. I mean, he does things most defensive players don't do.